Hello, my friends. Let's get started. We're going to share the screen. We're going to talk about the new moon in Pisces on March 10th and how we can use this. Don't forget, this is the beginning of a lunar gestation cycle. If you like to follow the longer patterns, the longer cycles of what the moon can do, as opposed to just a 1 month cycle, which gives us 1 week in each of the 4 major lunar phases. So, new moon in the sign of Pisces on March 10th. It's at 5 a.m. Eastern time. You're going to have to adjust for your own time zone. But the point is here, there's a number of things that are going on here. I want to hone in on, we have the bundle pattern, as you can see, meaning everything is nice and tight within 120 degrees. It's even less than that. And we have that new moon. There it is at 20 degrees of Pisces. So we're focusing in on that. All right. Here in New England, Pluto's on the ascendant for this new moon. So that's going to give us here in New England. So let's say, within like 100 miles, 200 miles of Boston. Let's just put it that way. Pluto's going to be really close to the ascendant. So that's going to give us in that New England area a lot of intensity around the intentions that we want to set with this new moon in the sign of Pisces. Now, for you guys here on Patreon, everybody gets to see this, but you in the lower 2 tiers, so tier 1, tier 2, you don't know. I've been doing I just started the lunar gestation cycle, talking about it in a separate video. It is I'm allowing tier 3 to have it for a little while, and eventually it will only be at tier 4, but we're just going to play with it for a little while. Well, I get used to talking about it. I've talked about it for ages, but really giving you guys a lot more insight on it because it's something that I'm really, I love working with this lunar phase. But in the meantime, all y'all have to worry about is, what is this new moon all about? So I'm going to grab my notes while you look at that chart. So it starts off with, let's just embrace this new moon in the sign of Pisces. What's Pisces is what we want to look at. And when we look at what Pisces is, we want to recognize the fact that it is an opportunity for us to initiate new things in regard to Pisces. So how we feel, right? The depth of our emotions. It's spiritual. It's our compassion. It's our creative potential, right? It is for us to, when we use this Pisces energy, we want to tap into our dreams, our hopes and our dreams. We want to do that. And really to have our love and compassion for ourselves, right? Not just for others, but for ourselves, and surrender into that flow, surrender into what that represents. It's important during the moon, when the moon is in Pisces. And as you can see here, the moon has been in Pisces for 20 full degrees until before its new moon, right? So that means for a couple of days before this date that's on the screen, March 10th, the moon has been in the sign of Pisces. Actually, let's get that for you so you can do it exact. I'm throwing stuff all over the place right now. Once the moon enters the sign of Pisces, which is late on the night on Friday night, March 8th, it's about 8 p.m. Eastern time, and even before that, but at least at that time period, the moon in Pisces is in the balsamic lunar phase. And that means, especially from March 8th, March 9th, and until we get to this new moon early in the morning on March 10th, the moon is balsamic. So I want you to surrender. That is a representation of surrendering. It's great to work this piece before we get to the new moon. Super important to work this piece before we get to the new moon, because at the new moon, we want to set intentions, hopes, dreams, intentions, new moon rituals, if you will. We have opportunities to do all of that. The written forecast will be out sooner than later, so get on my email newsletter list, and I will send it to you when it's ready. And it's just on my blog. If you're on the website, you'll get you'll get it over there too. There's a ton of different ways to stay in touch with me. So you'll get it there too. And it will have it all written out for you. But in the meantime, This new moon at 20 degrees is late in the sign, and that means we have ample time before it. So it looks like it's about 36 hours or so before this new moon, while the moon is Pisces, while the moon is balsamic, to surrender to what is, surrender to the flow. That's part of this process. It's part of this process. So once we surrender, and then we get to this new moon Sunday morning, March 10th, then we'll have opportunities to go ahead and set intentions, right? And you want to set intentions around the things that are important to you in regard to Pisces. So let's list them one more time, or a little more. Spiritual interests, your own spiritual path. What intentions? Set intentions about exploration, exploring that. What does that mean to you? Can you take it deeper? Do you want to take it deeper? Set intentions around that. Set intentions around creativity, right? And really channeling your creativity, whether it's art or music, design, painting, sewing. It's that creativity, very important for us to look at that. And with so much of the woo-woo out there, because that's what this is, so spiritual, we have an opportunity for some deeper change. And that is pretty exciting too. And the opportunity for the deeper change is because this new moon is in the last 10 degrees of the sign that it's in. And the last 10 degrees of the sign it's in gives a nod over to Pluto. And that it's not by the math, it's just by decans. It gives us a nod to Pluto, meaning if you're so inclined, and I hope you are, to sit down and create ritual and create intentions Sunday, March 10th, then you have an opportunity for some very deep and profound changes in your life. I find this is incredibly not difficult, but incredibly, maybe it is going to be difficult for you. I don't know why that word just slipped out, but it did. It's incredibly important for us to pay attention to that. Neptune's right next door, but it's still 7 degrees away. Neptune's a ruler of Pisces, but again, these last 10 degrees of Pisces gives that nod over to Pluto. So that means there is some deep, deep navigating. This is why we go to the depths. This is why we go deep. Yeah. All right. So create some sacred space. This is what you want to do. You can do it first thing in the morning if you want, or you can wait till later in the day. People like to do their lunar rituals in the evening when it's dark out, but you can do it anytime after 5 a.m. Eastern, right, on March 10th. So create some space, some sacred space, whether it's indoors or outdoors. Do it near water. That would be great if you can, or at least have some water running. You can even do these intentions in a shower, in the tub. I don't care, but the water would be really helpful. And this Pisces new moon, setting those intentions around compassion and understanding, spiritual connection. What's important for you? That's how you get to choose these things. And all of this is going to be written out. I mean, this video is going to go up way before the written forecast gets out because I've written it. I haven't edited it yet. So, yeah, it'll come out soon. Yeah. You could tell I'm reading my notes. I just want to get everything because there's a lot of good content in the written forecast, and I don't always remember everything that I think and I want, right? Because I write, then I talk, and then I go edit, and then I do more. So here on Patreon, you guys get this first, and if you're seeing this over on YouTube, you get it later. So thank you, Patreon, for your support. And if you'd like to come and support me, if you're watching this somewhere other than Patreon, yeah, you're welcome to come. Just Google my name on Patreon and you'll find me. All right, back to what we can do for these rituals. So create a sacred space, near water, indoors, outdoors, near water, whatever is important for you. Hey, you can even sit down with your journal. I love these kind of journals. I personally don't do it, but I know a few people. I know someone in particular that does this, my friend Lila. Journal, but also watercolor, because it's a journal book that has art paper in it, right? So or just doodle with a pencil. That's such a beautiful way to use Pisces new moon. We only get a new moon in Pisces once a year, so let's use it. And then the elements that go with this is water. We've already mentioned that, but then, I want to bring in crystals in meditation, right? Amethyst, aquamarine, bring in candles that are shades of blue and purple, things like that. It's really, really wonderful way to actually really focus on the ritual you're creating. And any of those types of visualizations that really help yourself. Intuition, I haven't mentioned that at all so far. Trust your intuition. You don't have to follow anything I say, as long as you trust your intuition and follow that flow for setting intentions. Now, if you're not interested in actually listing out, I wish I had, or I would like to manifest, if that's just not your thing, I still want you to write down how you're feeling. And because writing down how you feel, compassion that you have for others, or how you would like some more from whatever you want to, however you want to manifest that. It doesn't have to be all material things, but I want you to journal how you're feeling at the very least. Because again, every new moon begins a 3-year lunar gestation cycle that comes in 4 groups of 9 months. Okay. New moon is where we're at. First quarter moon will be 9 months from then. Full moon will be 9 months from then. Last quarter, 9 months later. And then 9 months after that, we're back to a new moon, which is 3 years from March 10th, 2024. So it's a long cycle, but life is like that. I like the longer cycles for things that are deep and important. And this can be that. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. So journal. Because 9 months from now, we'll be talking about the first quarter moon, and you'll be wondering what you're doing, what was going on then. So I want you to just journal at the very least, okay? Yeah, so that is what we got there with that. And is there anything else in here that I wanted to talk about? Yeah, look at Venus. No aspects to Venus right now. No aspects to Venus. I'm just talking about the basic 5 aspects: conjunction, sextile, square, trine, opposition. And the thing is, we don't have any of the bigger aspects right now, because there's nothing out here. Everything is contained within a trine. And this is sometimes what happens. And where is Venus? She's at the very end of the zodiac sign she's in. So she's actually even, we call the moon void, of course, when the moon is at the end of a zodiac sign and there's nothing in front of it as far as numbers. You can see that up here too. The Venus is the last number. And where is Venus? Over here? Yeah, all by themselves. Yeah, nobody's even by declination. We don't even have hardly any activity with declination aspects right now either. So this focus on this new moon in Pisces is important. Yeah. They're not doing anything. The thing they're the closest to is the sextile to Uranus. Yeah. And that just shows me that since it's only 60 degrees, and that is the closest aspect, it's 1 degree off, as you can see here. It's actually a separating aspect by 24 minutes, less than 1 degree. And that represents, again, sudden moments of inspiration. That's the Uranus. Earth, Taurus, water, Pisces. Those are both receptive. They're yin. So it's all about receiving. So do that for yourself. This is a great new moon for us to, we can breathe, we should meditate, we should feel like soft, like again, like you're in a bubble bath, or you got the best music playing, or you're releasing your stress of your day by picking up some watercolors, anything that gets you out of your head and into just a beautiful, compassionate, understanding flow. Don't forget to have compassion for yourself. That's going to be one of the most important things we have going on here. Yeah. Doesn't mean there aren't harsh things going on in the world, because there always is. And if you're too sensitive, and this can stir up a lot of sensitivities as well, don't forget to be grounded, and don't forget to put up boundaries. That's probably key. Don't forget to put up boundaries and unplug from all the noise. I'm going to stop my share. Those are some of the biggest things around this new moon. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, thumbs up if you're when this gets onto YouTube, guys. Please share this. YouTube is flat. So flat. My YouTube shorts are doing fine, but these longer videos are flat as a pancake. I don't know why. I guess I don't care. I'm grateful you guys are here. Thank you for your support, everybody in Patreon. I really, yeah, blessings for you. Thank you. You are my support. And everybody else, hey, come join us. We'd love to have you. Let's go in depth together. Namaste, everybody.